What's up everyone, this is FP Sticks, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing the team that I've been currently running in the Retro Cup so far. This team has given me a lot of success and I'm currently sitting in the 2800 rating range, 2800 MMR, and this team is featuring one of the teams that I featured in my top retro teams, with ZANGOOSE in the lead, and then Cresselia on the safe swap and Medicham in the back. Now there is a case to be made that if you don't have an XL Medicham, you could run Defense Deoxys. I think Defense Deoxys might even be a slight upgrade from this if you run Psycho Boost and Rock Slide. I might be trying that out in the next couple days as well. But ZANGOOSE is such a core breaker for so many teams in the Retro Cup. There's so many normal types that are using Lick as the fast move, and ZANGOOSE is able to resist that damage and hit back for super effective close combat damage. The Night Slash damage is really great for the Psychic types and opposing Ghost types. The issue with ZANGOOSE is that it is very glassy, so you do have to be very careful with what matchups you have ZANGOOSE in, and I see this comment fairly frequently on a lot of videos where people will like see a team that's showcased in a video and then just straight up copy the team and expect to get the same results. That is definitely not how this typically works. So as we're going through these battles, I'm going to try as best as I can to highlight the gameplay decisions that I'm making and explain why I'm making those current decisions. But you're going to see me play very aggressive with ZANGOOSE in the lead, typically committing both shields in that matchup, and then potentially even swapping out and trying to preserve it for late game. So let's jump right into these battles. This team has really been effective for me, so I'm excited to showcase some of these battles. Let me know down in the comments which team you've been running for Retro Cup. Okay, Defense Deoxys in the lead. Even though we are receiving super effective damage from the counters, I need to chip this first before I make my move into Cresselia. So that actually does a good chunk of damage to the Deoxys, and they have a Bite Dunsparce in the back. This is actually not too surprising of a pick for me because Dunsparce again is a normal type that's able to hit for super effective damage against the Ghost and the Psychics. I'm going to go for 2 Moonblast, and then that puts the Dunsparce in a range where I can just go for a Grass Knot. I really want to start getting shields, and I know that if I shield that Drill Run, I can overfarm a little bit with my Cresselia. Bite really does not generate energy very quickly at all. So down goes the Dunsparce. If they bring in the Defense Deoxys, I know they have a lot of energy stored, and I'm just hoping that I can get to a charge move here. So I survived the Rock Slide. I'm clicking on the Grass Knot. I'm really trying to get the Grass Knot off, but the game lags for a microsecond and overtaps me, and all of that energy goes to waste, which is really unfortunate. I have to bring out my Medicham to absorb this damage, but I know I'm going to eat a lot of damage here. In the back is a Greedent, and because of the counter damage I received in the opening matchup, my ZANGOOSE is unfortunately too low to be able to take out this Greedent here. If I would have been able to get that Grass Knot off on the Defense Deoxys, that actually would have been potentially a game-saving play. I either get a shield there, so then we're on even shields, or they let the DD go, and then I just have one Pokemon to deal with in the back. Unfortunate when the game does that. Apparently, I mean, Niantic has been saying this for a long time, but apparently the next update has some game fixes in there, so we shall see what happens. But very well played to my opponent here. Really close. Defense Deoxys in the lead always is kind of an awkward lead to play out, even though you're hitting for super effective damage. Gonna jump into the next game here. ZANGOOSE into Alolan Marowak. Pretty favorable here. They are hitting for neutral though. They swap out into a Greedent. And in this particular scenario, I'm going to overfarm. I throw close combat in the middle of their bullet seed animation so they cannot CMP tie me, because I want to make a move to Medicham eventually. I have a shield advantage now. I'm hoping that I can throw a bunch of counter damage and then land one Psychic and be able to farm this Greedent down before they force me to expend a shield. Because I know the Alolan Marowak is going to come back in and get a farm off of my Medicham. Luckily, the Ghost type damage on my ZANGOOSE will be double resisted, so they will be forced to have to go for Bone Clubs, and I'm able to perfectly farm down that Greedent. I know the Marowak is going to come back in, and I'm able to get this Ice Punch off, surprisingly. I think that might be one of the new mechanics that has been released in this game, because that was a 2-turn move against 3 turns, and normally the Fire Spin would have KO'd me there. But they are still in this matchup, so I'm going to rip off this Night Slash. They do survive. Now, I'm totally willing to double shield my ZANGOOSE here and farm down. It is a wall rain in the back. I'm going to rip off this close combat and pretty much almost one-shot this thing or burn the final shield. There goes the last shield, and now I know that my Cresselia can safely land a Grass Knot on this wall rain. They still have the Alolan Marowak with some energy farmed. So at this point, I'm thinking that ZANGOOSE is going to be my win condition here. I am worried about them catching a charge move though. I'm recognizing that their switch clocks are about 15 seconds out of sync, so after they throw this move, they can swap out. So they try to swap there, and I force my opponent to throw energy. That's exactly what I wanted to have happen. I want to get farm with my ZANGOOSE. I know that I will win the CMP tie. They don't get to another move here. I can easily get to a charge move and take out the wall rain there, and we're able to clean that up. Good game. Hypno lead, kind of awkward because these confusions really hit for a lot of damage, but they end up swapping out and they swap into Vigoroth. I go for a Night Slash bait here. This is kind of a risky play because if they no-shielded this, that would have been really bad for me. But I definitely want to bring Medicham out onto this. This is really great because my Medicham gets to avoid the Shadow Hypno, which is a very positive matchup for the Hypno. I'm throwing this Psychic immediately. I'm doubting that they're going to shield, and I just want to get rid of this Vigoroth. The Hypno's going to come in and get a pretty substantial farm, but I will be able to do a decent amount of damage with these counters, and I'm hoping that I can get to 2 Ice Punches here. That'd be really great chip damage, because I know they're going to farm me down. And most likely they are running Shadow Ball, but ZANGOOSE is not going to appreciate this damage at all. I'm going to bring out the Cresselia and absorb this damage. I will shield the first move, anticipating that it could be a Shadow Ball, but they bait me with Thunder Punch. Nice play. Out comes Snorlax. I'm going straight for the close combat, because even if I drop my defense, the licks are double resisted. They do hardly nothing. Oh my gosh, one-shots a Shadow Snorlax. And ZANGOOSE is able to clean up there. Good game. ZANGOOSE into Wall Rain. Neutral matchup, but if you can land the close combat, it's really great. This is a matchup I do not want to stay in. I actually end up trying to catch a move on my Cresselia. Now you saw me farm up a lot and then not throw my energy. That's because I anticipated that they were going to try to catch a move on something. And they did in fact try to catch something on their Noctowl. They tried to catch the Grass Knot. I swapped out of that lead matchup against the Wall Rain because Cresselia and Medicham both have better matchups against the Wall Rain, so there's no point in me staying in there the whole time. I'm going to try to fight for switch advantage here because I know that Medicham on Wall Rain is much more favorable for me. I'm anticipating them shielding this, but they let the Noctowl go. And then this is very bad. This is where there's a case to be made that maybe Defense Deoxys might be better in the back than Medicham, because this double shielded Talonflame absolutely just goes on a feeding frenzy. I can't shield this because I'm gonna get farmed down anyways, and then my whole team is gonna get nuked here. So I'm trying to just absorb this damage on whatever I can. I'm throwing any damage I can get off on this Talonflame, just throwing a Grass Knot, but they shield that. This is very, very bad for me. If I shield this, they're going to be able to one-shot my Medicham, but at this point it's over. I'm hoping that by some miracle I could counter this down, but it is just not happening. This Talonflame is just going off, and really interesting decision by my opponent, allowing me to get switch advantage and saving both shields for their Talonflame, but it really paid off. Look at how devastating that was. Really well played to my opponent. Good game. ZANGOOSE, okay, another DD in the lead. I cannot stay in here the whole time, but I do want some chip damage. I have yet to encounter a Defense Deoxys that throws Psycho Boost immediately. So even though this would be a CMP tie, they never seem to throw. I'm going to try to... Okay, I store a move and then I swap to my Cress here. I played it a little bit differently this time around, but that damage on Cresselia is pretty much useless. They have a normal Castform. Normal Castform does learn Hex as the fast move, so it's hitting me for super effective. This is most likely a Hurricane, and there's a case to be made I should have shielded this. I really should have shielded that, because that's going to be the move that hits for the most damage. Now, I unfortunately have to... Okay, I let this Weather Ball go. And if I remember correctly, I bring out the Medicham to farm this down, anticipating that they're not going to be able to get to another Hurricane. I know this is a Rock Weather Ball, so it's resisted on Medicham. They still have the DD, but it's fairly... it has eaten some Shadow Claw damage. I'm going to go for the Ice Punch chip damage here. Now, I'm anticipating that there's another normal type in the back, because they bring DD out onto my Medicham. So I'm going to need to preserve my Medicham for the end game here. I swap into my ZANGOOSE, and they have a Greedent in the back. I'm going straight for the close combat here. And they do shield it up. I really need to be able to get to this final close combat. This will not one-shot the Greedent, but it's going to do a lot of damage. I do know that my Medicham should win the CMP tie against that defense Deoxys, so if I can farm down this Greedent, I will be able to land the charge move onto the DD. I cannot shield this. Psycho Boost is going to do more damage. And I sneak a counter there. That sneak literally is going to allow me to win the game, because I can undertap this Ice Punch, win the CMP tie, and we're gonna be able to take this game. That was a really tough game and really, really close. Well played to my opponent there. ZANGOOSE into Nidoqueen. Not great, and kind of a tough lead for the team. So once again, I'm just going to throw... I actually go one past the Night Slash there. But I'm going to rip off a Night Slash. And that does pretty solid neutral damage. I bring out my Cresselia to absorb whatever damage I can here. You're going to see me do this over and over and over again. Cresselia is just there to pretty much absorb any charge move damage that I don't want to eat on my ZANGOOSE. They bring out a Frostlass. I do get the attack debuff on the first Moonblast, so that's very fortunate for me. I will shield up the Shadow Ball. I don't get baited by Avalanche. I'm going to go for the Grass Knot here. And they fully let it go. Totally fine by me. What are they going to bring out? They bring out a Greedent, and I'm going to swap immediately back into my ZANGOOSE here. I'm hoping that I survive this Body Slam. I do, and then I get farmed by the Nidoqueen again. That's totally fine. I need my Cresselia to do enough chip damage to this Nidoqueen that they're able to let it go. I made that swap back into ZANGOOSE because I ultimately want my Medicham aligned with the Greedent, so that forced them to lock their Nidoqueen into this matchup once again, and I know that my Medicham will be able to avoid it. They go for the heavy move. I am able to counter down this Nidoqueen right before it's able to get to a Poison Fang, and that allowed me to win that game. Good game there. Okay, Altaria is a tough lead for this team for sure. This is another case to be made where maybe Defense Deoxys in the back would be slightly better if you're running Rock Slide, because that would allow me to just instant swap my Cress here instead of having to like awkwardly chip this with the ZANGOOSE. I sack the ZANGOOSE here. People that lead Altaria are going to have some hard counters to Ice types in the back, so that could be some Rock types, which my Medicham would do very well against. Or it could be some Fighting types, which my backline also does very well against. So I was comfortable allowing my ZANGOOSE to go down there. I'm farming up a lot with the Cress, and now I will throw the Moonblast and see what they want to do. Down goes Altaria. Out comes a Regirock. I'm going to bank a Moonblast and then swap to my Medicham. They have a DD in the back. And I thought they might be running Thunderbolt here, so I end up shielding this first move. This was so dumb on my part. I now have recognized that Rock Slide and Psycho Boost are the typical movesets of the Defense Deoxys in this cup. But I need to keep my Medicham healthy because it has the most value. So I end up shielding another Rock Slide. Oh my gosh, awful shields there. I was hoping that they would have gone Psycho Boost there, but they do not. Gonna throw this Ice Punch, and I'm able to get to another Ice Punch here, and then I have a move banked on Cresselia, so I'm gonna try to go for the combo play. able to get to a grass knot here. And oh, that's unfortunately the game glitch again, where they swapped but the game did not register it. So there's a visual glitch, and they actually ended up catching it on their Regirock, so they were very quick to the response. Unfortunately, I need to be able to farm this down and have a Psychic banked for the defense Deoxys, because an Ice Punch is just barely not going to do enough damage. And as you will see, I'm able to farm this down. I have the Ice Punch, but they have a Psycho Boost loaded. I'm forced to throw this Ice Punch. And this is barely not enough damage to take out their defense Deoxys, and they're able to win this game. Very well played. I like my opponent's team. It's very, very strong. Altaria, DD, and Regirock in the back. ZANGOOSE into Cress. Pretty favorable for me, but these charge moves are really going to hurt. They swap to Lickitung, and there's a case to be made. Anytime your opponent swaps in a normal type, if it's not a Vigoroth, then you can stay in and rip off a close combat before getting out of there, because this matchup is actually fairly close in the Zero Shield with this Medicham. But I was comfortable making this move because my Cresselia is neutral against their Cresselia, and my Medicham gets to avoid their Cresselia now, which is really not good for me. Okay, so I win the one shield there. They bring out the Crest, and they're going to get a huge farm. So I swap immediately back into ZANGOOSE. And I end up shielding this Moonblast. I'm anticipating that they have another normal type in the back, and they do. It's Oranguru, a very common pick in this Retro Cup as well. I'm going to throw a Night Slash. It does hit for super effective, and then I'm going to throw another Night Slash. I got the pause there after the charge move. Otherwise, I would have thrown 2 Shadow Claws. But again, the game was stuttering a little bit, unfortunately. Down goes my ZANGOOSE, and that is perfect farm for my Cress. I'm going to be able to Psycho Cut down the Oranguru. They bring out their own Cresselia. They are up a shield, but I am pretty significantly up in energy. And I still have my Medicham as a potential catch. Now, they are over 100 energy. They're farming up a lot. They're trying to anticipate the catch. So I swap right there, but I have enough residual energy to get to an Ice Punch. And at this point, the game is over. They were hoping that they could Psycho Cut down my Medicham before I got to a move, but that Ice Punch came in clutch. All I got to do is get to one Grass Knot, and I'm going to be able to take out this Cresselia here. And we are able to take that game. You can see my Cresselia's IVs are a very high attack stat. You have to trade Cresselia's to try to get one under 1500. A Bewear. Holy cow. So this is it operates very similarly to ZANGOOSE. However, they do not have a cheap bait move of Night Slash. They end up going for a payback here. This puts me very ahead on energy. I'm at back-to-back close combats here. Gonna throw the first one and see what they want to do. They end up shielding it. So gonna farm up a little bit more. I sneak a Shadow Claw there. I will shield up this one. Superpower would definitely one-shot me. And I'm at back-to-back close combats once again. So right here, I think I stop tapping to make sure that they don't catch. Yep, and I'm gonna throw this close combat to guarantee that this damage goes off. No matter what, I'm gonna insta-swap out of here. I swap into my Cresselia. In the back is an Oranguru. I have to preserve that ZANGOOSE for their Hypno. So I'm going to throw this Moonblast here. The reason that I could so confidently make that blind swap into my Cresselia is that once Bewear is out of the picture, it's unlikely that they're going to have something in the back that's going to hard punish my Cresselia. So that's what gave me the confidence to be able to make that aggressive blind swap. They get foul play off here. That's perfect because this allows more farm for my ZANGOOSE. You see me stop tapping. I'm able to farm them down. I really need to rip off this Night Slash damage on the Hypno. I'm able to deny a confusion here. I got very lucky because this is what allows me to reach one more Night Slash. And we're going to be able to take out this Hypno. Did not even need to use the Medicham here. ZANGOOSE absolutely putting on a clinic there. Good game. One more battle in the video, folks. Lickitung lead. Totally fine with this. They end up switching into a Surfetched, so I'm going to go into my Medicham. And this is enough for a Brave Bird, so I'm going to shield this and respect it and be able to farm it all the way down. If they bring their Lickitung back in, I'm going to be able to do so much damage to this thing. I'm just going straight for Psychic. And pretty nice chip damage there. Going to go for another Psychic. I'm wondering if they're just fully sacrificing their Lickitung here. And that looks to be the case because they let all that damage go through. They swap into Frostlass, and I was not expecting this play, so I'm very slow to the response. But I have my ZANGOOSE on this Frostlass once again. Going to throw a Night Slash here. I need to burn both of these shields and get it to below half health to where one move from my Cresselia will be able to take it out. Able to burn the second shield, and now we're looking pretty okay. Shadow Ball does not one-shot a full health Cresselia, but they could catch a move on their Lickitung. I am worried about that. So I'm keeping track of their energy. My switch clock is up. I'm going to try to catch a move, but I'm anticipating that they're going to try to catch as well. We simultaneous swap, I farm it down, and now I have an Ice Punch banked, and we're able to take this game. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you appreciate the content, and I will see you all in the next video.